we start with an introduction to the whole course. Then we will discuss about selecting the best projects, then how to package these projects into as projects or programs and portfolios. Then we will discuss about appointing the right project manager or being the right project manager. What are all the core values, the principles, the competencies required, the performance domains, and an overview of the models, methods, and artifacts. And then finalizing the project management approach, because based on the nature of the project, we may have to decide on what type of methodology to be used, whether it should be predictive or agile or hybrid. So those things we'll discuss at point number 5 of iteration 1. Then we move on to iteration 2. There we really take off with the predictive project management concepts. We start with the formal project initiation. We will discuss about the importance of formal project initiation and chartering, because many projects fail because they don't have a solid business case and they are not formally analyzed and given the green signal with a mandate to accomplish certain tangible benefits to the organization. So the importance of formal project initiation and chartering is very important. And then that is followed by key stakeholders identification and prioritization. From start to finish, the project manager is supposed to take care of the stakeholder expectations. For that, we should initially know the expectations, then work along with the stakeholders to accomplish it. Then we move on to project planning. Starts with requirements elicitation, scope definition, then decomposing the scope into work breakdown structures. And once the WBS or the work breakdown structure is clear, then it is time to break it into bill of quantities, then cost estimation, and organizational structures and its impact on the project. Then defining the project's organization structure, because we may have owners, contractors, subcontractors, suppliers on multiple locations. So we'll have to decide on the project structure. Then defining control accounts and defining the project's budget. Then we move on to the scheduling concepts like critical path, fast tracking, crashing, leads, lags, early start, early finish, late start, late finish, float, near critical paths. All these things are very, very important for monitoring and controlling the projects. Then in iteration 3, we move on to execution. We will be discussing about directing and managing project work, because some teams they operate on control mode, command and control mode, whereas in some other teams it could be highly collaborative and self-organizing teams. And these days what we are seeing is it is a mix of command and control / collaboration because of working from home and working from different geographies. Then managing project knowledge, that is very important these days, because we are talking about forecasting, we are talking about artificial intelligence. Then if you don't have project data in place, we are missing out on the vital ingredients on which you have to base your artificial intelligence and stuff like that. So managing project knowledge is becoming very, very important. Then managing quality, acquire resources, develop team, manage communications, implement risk responses, conduct procurements, and manage stakeholder engagement. We will be talking about these things in detail during iteration 3. Then we move on to iteration 4. The primary focus is on monitoring and controlling. Here, the key aspects to be discussed is the earn value management, earn schedule management, cost forecasting, schedule forecasting, then using dashboards to monitor quality, resources, communications, risk, procurements, stakeholder engagement. Primarily whatever can get into a project dashboard, we will be discussing here in detail. And closing a project or a phase is also very important. So we'll be discussing those aspects as well. So from iteration 1 to 4, our primary focus is on predictive project management. Then we move on to iteration 5, where the emphasis is on agile and hybrid project management. So here we start with what is agile and when to apply agile, and the agile team organizations like the product owner, the scrum master, and the developers or the development team. And we'll discuss in detail about the key agile ceremonies like the release planning, the sprint planning meetings, the daily scrums, the sprint reviews, and the sprint retrospectives. We'll also discuss about the key agile artifacts like the burn down charts, the sprint backlogs, the product backlogs, the definition of done, the tracking boards, the burn down charts. So we'll be discussing these things in detail under agile artifacts. Then we will also discuss about hybrid project management, where these days projects are not either agile or predictive. The trend is on hybrid. We mix up both the predictive styles and the agile styles within the same project itself. Then it becomes a hybrid project management. So we will discuss about the ways and means of intelligently adopting the best practices of both predictive project management and agile project management for the success of your projects. Then in iteration 6 we'll be discussing about various models which comes in handy for the project manager or the scrum master to take the team along with you till the accomplishment of the project goals. So here we will be discussing about situational leadership, OSCAR model, cross-cultural communication, effectiveness of communication channels, gulf of execution and evaluation, hygiene and motivational factors, intrinsic versus extrinsic motivation, theory of needs, theory XYZ, ADKAR models. These are again some more models are there, so we'll be covering all those things under iteration 6. And in iteration 7 our primary focus will be on exam preparation, and there will be a meeting with the instructor, and the 35 contact hours certificate by the Project Management Research Institute will be provided to you for the successful completion of the course, which you can use while applying for the PMP examination. So it is 7 iterations, and the duration of the program you can decide. Each iteration may take approximately around 5 to 7 hours to complete. So if you are a person who can spend a lot of time on this, you can complete it very fast. But if you can spend approximately 1 hour every day on this program, then you should be able to complete it in around maybe 10 weeks time. You should be able to complete the 7 iterations. So the duration of the program is decided by how much time you can devote to this course. And the knowledge transfer happens through one-to-one meeting with the instructor, then pre-recorded video lessons, assessments, and exam practice. So, and then we have the PMdistilled guide, which is a crisp document covering all these concepts discussed here. So that will act as your reference material, maybe slash the project management body of knowledge, and maybe the Scrum guide. So these can be a reference material. The instructor is with you along, all along the course till your certification. And you are not that dependent on the instructor for your studies, because as and when you get time, you can focus on these on-demand classes and assessments. And at the same time, the instructor is available to you on request, and our recommendation is you should have a one-to-one meeting with the instructor almost every week, so that you can clarify all your doubts during those meetings and maybe plan ahead for the subsequent week. So it will not be an open-ended thing. We can set target dates based on your current workload and the amount of time you can devote to this particular thing. So it is highly flexible. At the same time, it is better to, once you start it, it is better to complete it as fast as possible. Otherwise, the end date will get postponed indefinitely. So that is also happening with some of our participants. To know more about this course, you can download the course content. The link to download the course content is provided at the description of this video. So that will give you more details about the program and how to express your interest to the program. And if required, you can have a one-to-one meeting with the instructor before deciding whether to join for the course or not. So thank you very much.